All right, so we are live.
Yeah, hi everyone. How are you?
Yes, fine.
Hi Darshan. Welcome guys. Right. So today we are going to talk about a lot of many things about blockchain. So it's a buzzword, and we are talking about many related techs related to blockchain, right? Like Metaverse, Ethereum, like Bitcoin, like other things, like different types of blockchain we will discuss here, and what are the type of scaling that we require for different blockchains, and what is this history of the blockchain, and what is blockchain. So we are going to discuss many topics here. So first of all, Darshan, welcome to this show, and I hope it will be like real fun to discuss all these details here. Yeah. So first of all,
Yeah,
Darshan,
that's true.
welcome to the GFG. And I mean, what's your first take on blockchain? I mean, first of all, we are hearing a lot about blockchain. So what is the blockchain? I mean, if you have to just summarize it, like in a like simple word, like how we will explain it to like audience.
Yes, so first of all, we are going to start with what is blockchain. So as we all know, like blockchain technology, Web3, and all these things are in like very kind of like popular right now, especially on Twitter. Like it's like kind of like it's taking like lots of fast all of these technologies and all. So okay, so basically this blockchain is like we just like let you know about like what is blockchain. So let's start with it. So first of all, what is blockchain? So, as you all know, that blockchain is a technology that structures transactional records. Okay, like we can send transactions without any like it will be like secure transactions with your bitcoins, Ethereums, and like any cryptocurrencies. So basically, it's known as the block. Okay, when we are sending the transaction records and when we are sending a transaction, so it's known as like a block. So it is like consisting of like lots of chains. Okay, it is consisting of like lots of chains in the sense like on the flow. So for example, over there you have like sent one transaction to your user or any like your friend. So it has been like has like lots of like flow, like how it's going to send. So it is known as blockchain, right? So it is
Hmm.
a network that is connected through the pair of nodes. It's a network that is like connected through a pair of nodes, means it's a like it is referred as storage. It is referred as storage, a digital ledger. It is referred as like this. So it is meant by blockchain.
Okay.
It's just like nothing but just a simple thing that where like the digital ledger is like a spreadsheet, and where it's like kind of like shared the transactions to the users and all with the secure flow.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, Darshan, for a small like introduction about blockchain. But yeah, I would love to go little bit behind the timeline. I mean, little bit known about the history of blockchain and why do we actually need it. I mean, uh, since if you go to the history, like in 2008, like Satoshi started with Bitcoin blockchain, but it's not something that Satoshi like invented something a new thing. There are a lot of people involved behind the development of the blockchain, and there is one very famous problem. I mean, I'm not sure, Darshan, have you heard about Byzantine general problem, right? So Byzantine general problems basically, let me give you the brief idea to the audience. I mean, what it talks about Byzantine general problem. So let's say if you are in a city, right, and the city are like full of evils, like there are many enemies there, right? And if you have to transmit a message from one corner of the city to the another corner, and and you have only one way, just passing a message to one friend to another, then there is one security challenge here. I mean, if there are some adverse elements in the city who can capture your message, then how would you transmit your message from one corner to another corner? So this was like unsolved problem since long time. Like, how would you ensure, like, without any third party involvement, how would you ensure that your message has not been like decrypted or being found by your enemies? So how would you do that? So that's the one problem that Satoshi solved while he talked about Bitcoin. Like, how did he solve that problem? So we will go into that detail, like how the Byzantine problem was solved in this, because in the blockchain, right, all the transactions are verified without the need of third parties, right? Even today, when why do we need the blockchain? I mean, if I have to send like let's say 100 rupees to you, like now bank is involved, there is a third party is involved, who is basically taking account of all the transactions, and we have to depend on the bank to verify our messages. They take commissions from us. So that's the thing, right? So we need to find a way so that we eliminate the third party, and we can like eliminate the need of third party, and that's the way forward in the blockchain. And I mean, how we will solve it, that we can go in the deeper, because there are different protocols like proof of work, proof of stake. So we will go into that detail, like how did it solve. And also, if you go to the history in the late 90s, right, there was a problem when there was no internet native currency, right? If I, let's say I
Right,
have
right.
to purchase something from Amazon, right, then on that time I have to use like novel currency. There was no internet native currency. So there has to be internet native currency. There was a big challenge, and then Satoshi solved this problem. And we will obviously go in deeper, like how the Byzantine general problem was solved through different protocols. Like, so yeah. So Darshan, would you like to add anything in this?
Okay, so basically, like now we are going to like dive deep into the blockchain technology. So, like I just like would like to add like why the blockchain is like so popular right now. So basically,
Mhm.
now as you all know that like keeping the track of your record, like your transaction, is being a crucial part of the business, right? Like it's been like so hard of the business, like just like record keeping of data, then keeping the track on these transactions and all. So this information is like handled in house or passed through a third party, like brokers, bankers, lawyers, etc., etc., right? For the business, if they are like just like keeping the track of this. So the thing is that fortunately, blockchain avoids this long process and facilitates that for the faster moment of the transaction. So, for example, now it's like kind of like saving both, like time also and money also. So it just like does that.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it means like it's so popular like among these ways, like all the people are assuming that blockchain and bitcoin can be used like very like fastly, and in reality also like that's not the case. But the blockchain is the technology that is capable of supporting various applications like that are related to multiple industries. Like for example, it is related to finance, it is related to supply chain, it is related to manufacturing, and it is related to development too. So etc etc can be done using blockchain. So that's what like blockchain is so popular among these selves right now.
yeah, yeah. And adding to Darshan, like I would like to elaborate like how the Byzantine problem was solved, right? So, for example, let's say I'll give you the example. If I'm giving 100 rupees to the Darshan, then I have to depend on the bank, right? But what happens in the
Right.
blockchain, as Darshan rightly said in the starting, because this is a decentralized ledger, right? There are many computers connected to the ledger, and let's say if I'm giving 100 rupees to the Darshan, then all the connected nodes will have to verify that particular transaction. So if like majority of the people, like if I talk about like more than 50% people have to verify their transaction. So that comes in the picture when let's say if I have to give an example. Let's say there are five friends sitting here, right? If I give 100 rupees to Darshan, then my like majority of the friends should verify like this transaction happened. We do not need to rely on a single party like a bank. But this way, I mean, there are the way we solve the security problem. But you know, this is also a very a deep criticism of the blockchain, thus, and because a lot of nodes have to verify the transaction, then what happens that it becomes very slow. I mean, if we talk about blockchain, like if I have to give you a money, like if you have to make a transaction, then average time is right now like 10 minutes. So I have to do it. So what are we doing about the speed of the transaction, especially let's say about the Bitcoin? Are we doing any innovation, or there are different type of blockchain that are trying to solve that speed problem? So do you have any comment about it?
Okay, so it means like you're talking about like the speed of the transaction that happens. Okay, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, so it happens quick, like no time. just like in second it happens.
Yeah.
Kind of like it's fast transaction and secure transaction blockchain.
Mm-hmm. So there are
Yes.
different type of scaling solutions, right? And
Yeah, there are.
if I have, yeah, there are different type of scaling solutions that we do, maybe on layer 1 or layer 2. So if I have to give you the example, like how would you explain it? Like there are two types of blockchain. In 2008, like Bitcoin blockchain was started, right? Then the major thing between the Bitcoin blockchain and the Ethereum blockchain, what was the difference? Like Ethereum blockchain was started by Vitalik Buterin. Like what was the difference between the two blockchains? So if I talk about the Bitcoin blockchain, right? In the Bitcoin blockchain, operations happen like 0 and 1. Like if I'm giving you something, then my balance will be deducted. And if you're getting something, then your balance will be increased by something, some amount, whatever I'm giving to you. So it's like a operation, zero, plus and minus. That is the only thing is happening in this, right? But in the Ethereum blockchain, if you can see, there is a concept of smart contract, right? And we
Smart
also see
contract,
that
right?
Ethereum is a Turing complete blockchain. So Turing complete means where you can programmatically do other things, like because in the Bitcoin blockchain you can perform two kinds of operation, like 0 and 1 type of operations. But in the Ethereum blockchain, you have a concept smart contract. That is a Turing complete thing. You can write many you can solve many problems in the Ethereum blockchain, right? Because there are concepts of you can see we are creating decentralized applications there. We are creating many dev applications, right? We are
Right, right.
creating NFTs over that. So that's the one thing. And that's the application. That's the difference between Ethereum and blockchain. And if we have to talk about the speed also, like how we will increase the speed of the transactions, right? So some kind of thing, like if you talk about different types of protocol, right? Proof of work and proof of stake. We will discuss about it later on. But I mean, if you have to take about, there are some layer 1 and layer 2 solutions also. Like for example, there is a Ethereum blockchain, right? But in the Ethereum blockchain also, you can't perform every operation on the main on chain, right? So you have to do some kind of other kind of layering. So if you heard about the Polygon, right? That's an Indian initiative, right?
Yes,
So it
Polygon.
is trying to solve some kind of solution, some kind of giving some kind of scaling to Ethereum, right? So that's it. Yeah. So are we having any questions also from the audience?
Yeah, so if you guys just have any questions, just drop a comment. So we'll try
Yeah,
our best to
please.
answer it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean,
All
Darshan,
right. So yeah, yeah.
how uh, have you also explored developing some kind of application in the
Yeah, so
blockchain? I mean, in
recently, yes. So recently, what I've done, so basically, like a little bit of like blockchain, I know. So like I can like develop some dApps using it, like dApp in the sense decentralized web applications. So recently, I've like had an like play with this blockchain. So like I've built like kind of like 2 3 web applications using blockchain and like this all the stuffs. Like for example, like there's like Alchemy. It's a platform for just like this, and there's Hard Hat, which is like for Solidity and Solana. Do you know Solidity and Solana?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right, right,
yeah.
right. So with that, I've like played a bit. So like I've made some applications using blockchain, and in there like smart contracts are being like created, and with the help of that, like I can send transactions to the user, and I can send bitcoins and etc. with this thing.
Okay, okay. So if I have to explain to the audience, like what are smart contracts, like so there are technical jargons that I won't use, but smart contract is something that is not smart. That name suggests, as we have to like do a lot of hard coding with the smart contract. Let's say I'll explain like how smart contract works. Let's say in a Bitcoin, right? If there is that is non-Turing, right? If I'm giving some money, then only two types of thing is happening. One, my balance is getting deducted, your balance is getting up. But let's say if I add a condition that I will give you money only when a particular condition is satisfied. Otherwise, I will not give you money. So it's kind of if and else. If you're if you're if you're giving a condition, if you're including if and else loops, then it becomes then your contract will be executed when your that condition is satisfied. Let's say it can solve many problems, right? Let's say there are many problems related to property dispute issues, right? So like in that we can say like I can transfer my this property to you when you will give me like let's say 1 lakh rupee at this particular date. So these kind of conditions you can include in a smart contract. It's a basically Turing complete. You can add as many as logic that you want to do it. So that's the most basic definition I can give. Obviously, we will deal about like what kind of thing we can do with the smart contract. For example, there is a Facebook, right? So Facebook is
Right.
something that is controlled by centralized entity, right? So let's say there is a Mark Zuckerberg, and there are few people who decides the algorithm behind it, right? What kind of feeds you see in the Facebook. So it is decided by some algorithm that is written by the people at the Facebook. But let's say there is a decentralized application. So who will decide? Like now, we like many people say that Google or YouTube sometimes favor something, and some creators are pissed off. Like their content is getting down and it is not getting up, and they curse the algorithms, and we can't do anything about it. I mean, we have seen a lot of creators coming out of YouTube also because they thought YouTube is doing some kind of partiality. But I mean, I'm not commenting on the YouTube or the Google. But the thing is that you can't rely on a centralized application when such a impact can be made, right? So if let's say there is a decentralized Facebook, right? They will not sell your data. They will not sell your data to the third party, right? You will not be seeing some kind of ads that is not required by you, right? Whenever we see that, whatever we search on the Google, we see all over, whether we open the Facebook, whether we open the Google or whatever, we see all kind of ads and everything, because there is a central entity who is taking advantage of basically monetizing your content over it, right?
Right.
So
Right.
let's say there is a Facebook and there is a decentralized application. Then whatever algorithms that will be run, right, or whatever the smart contest that will be executed, that will be decided by the community, right? The community will decide like what should be the structure of the decentralized application, and how the community works. Because at the Facebook there are few board of director, few developers who decides that this will happen. Like how we will decide in decentralized application what will be performed. So Darshan, can you throw some light on it? How will the decisions will be taken in the blockchain?
Okay, so first of all, just like let me tell you one thing in the simple manner. That block, like a smart contract, is just a program, just that runs on a Ethereum blockchain. Just like that, that just line, that just kind of like a paragraph, like it defines about the blockchain in simple manner. And also one more thing I want to talk is that like there are some two languages for writing smart contracts. So first is Solidity, as we have talked before about Solidity, and the second one is like Viper. Okay, Viper. So it's just a language to write smart contract, but now kind of currently like Solidity is like in the trend, and like all the users, all the developers are using Solidity to write smart contracts and to work with smart contracts. And the syntax of Solidity is also like very easy to learn. Like I
Hmm.
can't like say easy, but it's kind of like a JavaScript. So it's
Hmm.
like kind of like easy, and you can just like easily work with it. And yeah, the it's like really easy. Like requests are just to like kind of like it's easy to work with it. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, anyone who is looking to work on Ethereum blockchain, they should explore the Solidity. And trust me, guys, you do not need to like buy some expensive course or do some kind of courses. You just even go to Ethereum.org. I mean, then you can see that a lot of documentation available there. You should read. First of all, before you go to the tech, like learning about the Solidity and something, first need to understand the architecture, like how the blockchain works and what are the different protocols. Like right now we are seeing that Ethereum is transitioning from proof of work to proof of stake, right? So what is proof of work, right? What is proof of stake?
Right.
That are things that we need to discuss, right? So Prashun has joined us, right? So how
Yes,
are you,
Prashant joined.
man?
Hey, Prashant, how are you?
Yes. I'm really sorry I had some technical issue. I'm
Okay,
doing good. How are you all doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We are doing good. I mean, we were chit chatting about the blockchain and different type of things. So first we discussed about the history of the blockchain. Now we are coming to the point of proof of work and proof of stake. So would you like to throw some light on the like how the decisions are made with the different protocols? So would you like to give some light on proof of work?
Sure. So basically, in proof of work, what happens? Multiple computers compete against each other. So whichever computer does it first, like is able to do the maths first, gets the owner of that computer basically gets the reward. But in proof of stake, what happens is everyone puts small amount of Ethereum. Whoever puts the most Ethereum, I think he gets to do it. And if he does any scam as such, or if there are any irregularities, then he's punished by the blockchain. So he needs to, his stake is basically taken.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when
So
you
basic,
use proof of work, yes,
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead, Prashant.
No,
Go ahead,
what
go
I
ahead.
was saying is when you use proof of work, a lot of electricity is gone compared to
Hmm.
proof of stake. So that's why proof of stake is better comparatively.
Hmm. 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 And I mean, I would like to explain like to my viewers like what is proof of work. Like for example, let's say uh, we are a group of three people, me, Darshan and Prashun, right? And we are running nodes, right? And Darshan is having a one computer, I am having a one computer, and Prashun also having a one computer. And if we have to make a decision, right? Then how we will make a decision? We have decided that if more than 50% people will agree on something, then decision will be taken, right? But how will you decide? If it could have been simple, like if I vote on a decision, like if I say, okay, this should be done. Prasoon also said this should be done. Darshan also said it should be done. If we just vote it, then it can be like manipulated. Like how it can be manipulated, right? Let's say uh, there might be a guy who can run virtual machines inside your computer, right? If my computer boards for something, and let's say if I'm engineer, I'm running infinite virtual machines inside my computer, then one computer can act like a thousand computers, and it can fool the system, right? So we have
Right.
Right.
to basically prove to this to the everyone that few resources have been consumed, like Prasoon said, a lot of electricity is getting consumed. So we have like initially when in 2008 it was very easy to mint the blockchain Bitcoin, because on that time there were not that much competition, right? There were not much nodes. But today there are many nodes, and this is why the computational power is like a lot of computers are competing, a lot of electricity is getting wasted, and to solve this problem of cheating, like if a engineer who makes an infinite virtual machine inside a computer, so what they did, basically they said that you have to prove that you are consuming some kind of inner computational power, and to do that we have to like burn the electricity. That's the
Right.
concept behind the proof of work. And he said like proof of stake is trying to solve that problem, because in the proof of stake you are not burning any electricity or something. You are just telling the system, okay, I own this much stake, okay, in the system. I have this much, let's say in Ethereum there are Ether, right? And the Bitcoin,
Yeah.
there are
Right.
Bitcoin, and Solana Bitcoin. So people whosoever the systems are involved, they basically say, okay, I have this much stake, and if we have it, then 50%, then we are making basically taking the decisions. So this is the
Yes.
basically the difference between the proof of work and proof of stake. And right now Ethereum is also running on the proof of work, and probably this year they're trying to migrate to proof of stake also, right?
Right. And one more thing, in proof of stake, basically what happens if you have 50% stake, basically you are giving that much amount of ether to get that much stake. So then what happens is you are given more priority compared to the other people.
Hmm. Yeah. So that's like we discussed about proof of work, proof of stake. Now we also like Prishun, before you joined, we also discussed about smart contracts. And Darshan told us
Right.
like if any kid who is watching, they should learn about they need to understand the blockchain architecture. Then if they want to go deep in the tech, then they should learn the basics of solidity. And it's not that tough if you're little bit hands-on in JavaScript, it's very easy to learn, right? It's not
Right.
something that
Right.
Right.
you will struggle a lot. And if you are using, let's say, Solana, then you have to learn Rust and other languages also. But I mean, it's not about the language anytime. It's about the tech. How do you solve what problems you are solving? And now I would like to like discuss few other things. Like now, there are many buzzwords right now. NFTs, right? Because in the Ethereum and the Solana, you can create the NFTs. So so many people are saying today the NFTs are scam. When you can just right click and save as, then why are we just having an NFT? So what's your take, Darshan? I
Right.
mean, NFTs are the future, or is just they are the scams?
Okay, all right. So first of all, as we all know, if we just like save it as an image, so like that just in kind of like people's point of view. Okay, so like okay, so now as we all know that like there are some NFTs like in trend. For example, there's like CryptoPunks. Sorry, yeah, CryptoPunk itself. Then there is like Bored Ape
Yeah.
Yacht Club. So there are like this kind of like some NFTs that are like in trend, and that's like just like trending on all the NFT marketplaces. So first of all, the thing is that if we just like save it as image, so like they just like have that, okay, so yeah, I just like have this NFT because like I like this NFT. So the owners think that okay, that's fine. But if just like sell this NFT or just like put it on like somewhere else and just take the credit of that, so it just like kind of like scam, because like these users have done scam with their owners. So I think like there's an like kind of like a future of NFTs, but not that much, like kind of 50-50, because like now they like made make these NFTs by this much efforts, and these are people just like save this as an like kind of like image, but they also like sell of like billions, right? The NFTs are like sell for dollars and
Yeah.
all those things, so that's
Mhm.
fine, I
But
guess.
I also think one more thing, like when you buy some NFT, you have a catalog. Your own art catalog is created. So if I use OpenSea, I buy it, art catalog is created. And in OpenSea, if like there are punks, which is a very famous creator, or there are bored apes, so in that what happens, they are verified users, so there is a tick, like on Twitter you can see a tick. So it's similar to that. So basically you can steal a painting, but then ultimately you need to have that signature which is there below the painting, that this painting is awarded to you because you bought it for this price. So with NFTs also it's like that. You can obviously right click it, but when you buy it, there is a signature which is created on blockchain that this NFT was bought by you, and now this will be in your catalog. Whereas if today I download some NFT and then publish it, then it would be like this user published it, but I'm not verified user.
Mhm.
So it's like that.
Mhm. Mhm. And first of all, like when we talk about NFT is a scam or NFT is not a scam, first we need to understand what is NFT. So if I have to break it down to my audience, what is NFT? So first of all, the full form of NFT is non-fungible tokens. Now, if I have to break it down, what is fungibility? To understand the NFT, first we need to understand the word fungibility. What is the fungibility? So fungibility is, if I have to explain it in a, let's say in a different way, in a simple English, that it is about replaceability. Can you replace something or not? So non-fungibility means you can't replace a token. Like for example, I'll give you example to understand it. Let's say, Darshan, you and me are going to the market, right? And we lost Darshan somewhere, just like we just lost Darshan like two seconds before, like he went somewhere. So this way, let's say we three are going to the market and he went to somewhere else, right? And we are not able to find him. Then how? Then what will we do? We will search for him and we will go to the police station. And police will say, okay, Darshan, we are not able to find the Darshan, but there is a similar kid who looks like Darshan. He has the same height, same color. He wears the same glasses and everything. Just take him with you. But obviously, me and Prishun will not do that because he is not replaceable, right? So the
Yeah.
humans are replaceable. So, for example, I will give you another example. There is a 100 rupee note, right? And if we have to go in the market to purchase something, and if we are giving 100 rupee to the shopkeeper, he will not argue with us. Okay, which 100 rupees you are giving me, right? Let's say I have 500 rupees in my wallet, then he will just say, okay, this is a 100 rupee note. He will not say, okay, don't give me this 100 rupee note, give me that 100 rupee note, right? So anything
Yeah.
that can't be replaced, right, that is non-fungibility, that is non-fungible, right? So what do we call Darshan as any human being? So any human being that is not replaceable, right? That is the NFT, right? That can't be
Yes.
replaced. So that you
Yeah.
can understand with the logic. But again, I mean, in this logic, I will surprise you guys. I mean, there are some crux in this as well, right? Because if you see, even a 100 rupee note, right? We can say that every 100 rupee note is the same if I talk about with the value. But if you look at the 100 rupee note, there are some serial numbers given in the 100 rupee note.
Serial numbers. Right.
Serial
Right.
numbers are there. So every 100 rupee note, a different 100 rupee note, because this is why the enforcement agencies catch the thieves who evade the taxes because of the serial
Right.
number. So if we have to go by the logic, so NFT is a very misnomer term, right? Because every particle, if you go to the atomic level, everything is different, right? You can't say everything anything is same, right? So by that
Yeah.
logic, I mean NFT name is very misnomer, but yeah, but if you have to understand it just to make it clear, right? But because
Right.
everything like because in the blockchain or anything that everything depends on the society. What you expect from the society, because society expected, okay, we will consider 100 rupee note same if we neglect the serial number, right? We don't go that deep just to understand it. So NFT is like this, right? So NFT is something that you can't replace it. Let's say if I buy a Mona Lisa painting, right? So Mona Lisa painting is an NFT. You can right click save as, but that will not give you that authenticity, the norms of the
Right.
society. Okay, this is
Right.
the original, right? Yeah, so that's what I want to say. You would like to add anything on the NFT? I mean, there are many
Uh,
expensive purchases have been made. Yeah, yeah.
So even a 100 rupee note, as you said, it's fungible because you can replace 100 rupee note by another. But if you
Mm,
look at the serial number, then it becomes non-fungible. But we consider it fungible because of its face value. A hundred
mhm.
rupee note will always remain. Its value is 100 rupees. So that's the thing. So that's why we consider it fungible. But if we see the serial number, then obviously we can call it non-fungible.
Yeah, yeah. And are you guys? I mean, planning to buy some NFT? Have you explored some cool NFTs? Because NFTs are
Actually,
somebody telling me NFTs are the gateway to the metaverse also. I mean, we are talking about metaverse. I mean, I don't think we have a time to discuss about metaverse, but people are saying NFTs are like tickets to the metaverse. So, any comment on that?
so when we enter the metaverse, basically that will be our catalog. NFTs are something that we will show that yeah, we bought this, and then there can be some kind of a house in the metaverse wherein we can have some art place wherein we show all the purchases. So yeah, it's kind of the art of metaverse, we can call it. Like in real world, the normal art is their paintings, sketches, and so in the metaverse, this will be the sketch. This will be the art. NFTs.
Okay. And Darshan, your comments on that?
So, like basically, metaverse are like what? Like I don't know about this. Like NFTs are going to be the ticket to metaverse, but yeah, I know that like NFTs are going to be like the future of these technologies. So that's great.
And what's your take on metaverse? I mean, people are talking about metaverse. This is kind of virtual reality, but honestly
Yeah,
speaking,
virtual
I
reality, right?
think it is reality. I mean, are we right now really talking? I mean, if you guys might be standing, might be sitting besides me, that might be a reality. But this is also a reality. So I'm confused. What is reality in 21st century? So what's your take on metaverse?
Right. So basically,
Is it
as we all
going
know that like Facebook is also working on metaverse, right? Like not
to?
actually a Facebook, it's Meta. So Meta is also working on metaverse. Like it's they are like creating the huge and very biggest metaverse platform in the world. So Meta. So they are just like kind of like working on that. So I guess like Microsoft is also like going to start working on that for their Microsoft Teams virtual meetings. So as we are like sitting here and we are just like talking right like this, so what will happen like in metaverse? We can just enter into the 3D virtual world, and we can just like talk with each other like in kind of like a real way. It like we are going to sit at our own home, but it's going to look like that. Okay, so we three are going here and there. We are moving here and there. We are like just talking and all. That's just amazing, and that's the future of the whole world. I can say like that.
Basically, there is also one game, Roblox, wherein you have your characters and they
Yeah,
are in
there's
a
also one
fictional world.
game. Yeah, there's also one game called Metaverse.org or something, and it's just like in trend right now. It's a web-based game, by the way.
Mhm.
Yeah, basically you build your avatar in the game, and then you, now we are here in a call, but we can't visit a place from here. Like I can present my screen and then I can show some place, but in metaverse what will happen, your characters together can go to a place, you can talk as usual, and you can go to multiple different places, and then your characters will you will kind of from online only experience the pleasure of going to that place. Like if you go to beach, then you can control your character, he will go in water, then you can talk something. And now Facebook is taking it to another level, because they also have one company, Oculus, if I'm not wrong,
Yes,
which
Yeah, yeah.
Oculus
which
X.
is
Yes.
yeah, which operates in the AR space. So what will happen is, now if my character enters water, then even in my feet I'll start feeling the sense of water, like water flowing through my legs. So that's what they are trying to do, because metaverse can is actually existing currently also, like in battlegrounds game, or even as I said, Roblox. But they are taking to another level where you can also feel things that are happening.
Right,
Mhm.
right, right.
So
I mean,
that's the
it's a very
USP basically.
fascinating concept, right? It's a very fascinating concept, right? I was reading somewhere that in 1950s, when there was no phones, people were spending more time in a physical world, right? So they were talking, walking, and like meeting real people, right? And going, having party at your friend's house. But when the internet came and then the mobile revolution came, now people are connecting through Facebook applications, right? So I would call these applications, today's application, are the 2D interactions, right? Not 2D, but you can say some kind of interaction where we are just communicating through devices only. We are not feeling the sense of connectivity, right? But through the
Right.
metaverse, like, you can feel that, okay, you're sitting with your friend, like you can feel it, right? Even if you're sitting somewhere like miles away. That's the difference with the metaverse. And the core thing is about the reality. What is reality? On that time, when we were spending 90% of the time in the outer world, that was the reality. But now we are spending 90% of the time in devices, through phones, through internet. Now it's very important to debate what is reality. Reality should be something where we spend most of our time, right? If we party hard in metaverse, if we study in the metaverse, we do all kind of work also in the device, in the internet or the metaverse, then it becomes a reality. And I mean, it's so surprising because many of the intellectuals also said that metaverse can be a threat, because it will hamper, it will take you away from the real reality, because you can't sense the outer world. But again, what is the reality? That's the most debatable part, because when you're spending most of the time in the metaverse, then it becomes a reality, right? Because no one knows what is reality, where we spend
I
most of the
I
time in the reality. Yeah.
I just had one point. So you have games nowadays, like you can play a football game in the computer. So many people
Mm,
do it, but because of that, we have not stopped playing football in physical world. Like if we are able to, then we always go down to play, or we also watch cricket matches. Like we can watch it online, but still that is a different experience. So whenever possible, people try, and if they are enthusiasts, then they try and watch it. So that's why I don't think metaverse is that big of a threat to at least us. But in the future, in like future in the sense, like from 100 200 years from now, it can be a problem, like even 50 60 years down the line. But for us it will just be like, video games were there, still people are playing physical games. It's not like people have totally abandoned playing physically. So it
right,
is
right.
just like for fun leisure purposes, we can use metaverse.
Mhm.
Right. That's true.
Today we can have online classes, but still, if possible, we prefer to have physical classes only. So it's kind of like that.
Mhm. Mhm. I mean, I mean, we discussed in this particular conversation a lot of things. We started with blockchain, the definition of blockchain. Then we discussed about the Byzantine general problem also. Prasoon, you were not there. So what Satoshi solved? Right? Basically, he solved the Byzantine general problem, right? And he solved the internet native currency problem, right? So adding to that, then Vitalik did started with Ethereum. He he basically, Bitcoin was non-Turing, then he made Ethereum Turing complete, and then we can use the smart contract. To the smart contract, we can use decentralized application. We can use many DApp applications. We can create NFTs and all that. Now, even there are many blockchains that they call themselves Ethereum killers, like Solana and other chains. They are also trying to beat because they have just modified a little bit in terms of their protocols. But again, that is, I'm not fan of other Ethereum blockchain killers, but I personally like Ethereum, right? So I'm fan of Ethereum more,
Yes.
but Bitcoin is something that is legacy that we need to we can't forget that. So I mean, we discuss a lot
Right.
of
Right.
things today, and yeah, you want to say something? You want to add something?
Like no, like basically now, like as we have like also discussed about like why blockchain is so popular, what is blockchain, and what's the future of NFTs, then what's the future of metaverse, like there like what's the use of metaverse games and all the stuffs. So as the title says, like how to use right, like how to use right blockchain for the development. So as like I guess like we have talked like everything about that, like why we should use blockchain. So yeah, like it just like kind of like it's highly secure, then it just like provides us the decentralized system, just like automation capability. The automation capability of blockchain is kind of like fast and genetic systematic, so it just like happens the transaction in seconds in very like a secure flow. And like fraud detection model is also like inbuilt with this blockchain transactions. So it means that like conventionally like we are done and everything is like fine with this blockchain technology, and that's the future of our whole world, like NFTs, this blockchain, then this metaverse. So I guess this is kind of interesting, and our all the audience should like uh just like kind of like try this space out because this is just amazing.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and we will be doing many streams over it, because I know 40 minutes are not enough, right, to discuss all these things. So we
Yeah, right,
just
of
touched upon
course.
few keywords, right? And we will be like, if you guys give us plus one, and even if you're watching it a later stage, you can comment if you want deep understanding of everything like smart contract, how to build the app. So we can show you also the building a demo application. So if you're interested, just post a comment, and we will definitely try to go
Yeah, yeah. So
more deep
basically
in that.
that's like yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's like really great thing because like if you guys just like want us to make a decentralized web application for you, so like we are ready to have a live stream for that too. So we'll be like more interested to do that development of like decentralized web application and teach
Sure.
you guys like what is Web3 and how to work with Web3. So I'll be like very more interested. So just like type a comment and just let us know so we can just like plan out those sessions out.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right.
So I think we have covered most of the things, and all of this is actually interlinked. So when you discuss about blockchain, you obviously discuss about metaverse, NFTs, and all the
Yeah,
different
yeah, of course,
things.
because yeah, as you have like said, it's interlinked. So like in this space that comes itself. So we need to discuss about that itself. Like if we can't,
Right.
so like the topic is like not full of this info.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
also planning to launch a cohort course on blockchain, and if you guys are interested, we will post a link, and if you're interested, fill the form, and we will start a course on it. And I mean, it's a fascinating time, and I'm really surprising. I'm really surprised and fascinated and very happy that kids like you, who I mean, I when I was your age, I mean, I was just learning like sine cos theta. That's it. But today you are talking about the future. That's the good thing, and I hopefully like future is in the good hands. And uh, lucky to have you on the board. So if anyone just want to join our club, we have a school ambassador club. If you are interested, if you have very keen interest in the tech, you can apply, and if you will be selected, you can join us in this club as well. And right,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
thank you guys for joining the session, and
Yep.
hopefully we'll meet soon, right?
My
Yep.
pleasure.
Sure.
Sure. Sure. Let's have another live stream soon.
Yes. Sure. So see
Yeah,
you guys. Thank you for joining.
see you guys.
Hope this
Thank
session
you. Bye
helps
bye.
you all.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes. Fine. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.